All right, welcome into Rattler Up with Coach Walsh. We are live from the Big Texas Event Center here at Hays County Barbecue. Make some noise, Hays County Barbecue. All right. There's a little delayed reaction, but we'll take it. This is the place to be on Monday nights to talk Rattler Athletics. I'm your host, CJ Odom, and alongside me, as always, San Marcos Athletic Director and Head Football Coach John Walsh. Coach, welcome in back to Rattler Up.
It's good to be back.
You know, a little side note there to explain that. You know, we've got the softball group in here. We'll preview the show here in just a minute. We asked them, you know, we make sure we're on TV, but they didn't want to make some noise, and they're figuring out when to make some noise. I'm gonna give them another opportunity because we got a great crowd here at Hays County Barbecue.
They just gotta listen.
Hays County Barbecue, how are we doing tonight? Oh, there we go. That's what we would expect from a Coach Stodden team right there. All right, well, welcome into Rattler Up. This week on Rattler Up, we're going to get an update on the winter sports, including boys and girls basketball and wrestling. We're going to preview tomorrow night's bi-district round matchup in the boys basketball between the Rattlers and Westwood. And like I said, live in studio, we'll be joined by Coach Kathy Stodden, head coach of the Rattlers ladies softball team. So lots to cover, Coach. And we talked a little bit about this before. This is obviously a crazy time of year for an athletic director. How are you handling all the chaos?
Well, we're just getting back into it, but chaos is ensuing. So softball has actually started. Baseball, I think, started tonight, their actual games. Soccer's been going. It's always great when you're still in the gym when those guys are going.
Right.
So we're kind of everywhere, and it's a good place to be. For me, if the weather's good, I get to go watch outside. If the weather's not good, I can stay inside.
Exactly.
So it's
well,
good
I
times.
found my little perch in the press box where I can watch the soccer game, but I can turn my head and still catch softball and baseball. So you find your places. But let's look at this. We talked about this on Rattler Up before, but let's take a look right now as we speak. In season basketball playoffs, boys and girls wrestling, boys and girls soccer, boys and girls track, softball, baseball, boys and girls Hudson, New Braunfels, East Central, and Clemens. So what are your early thoughts about our new district home?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I really want to go south. Just from a personal standpoint, coming from the Metroplex in the north, I got to make a lot of relationships and learn Austin football. So let's take it south and learn some South athletics, So it was, the day that came out, it was great that I saw where we were going. Then it became a headache because they put us in a 6-team district, which means all our coaches, the scheduling for non-district games became a little frantic because you got to find lots of non-district games. So
right.
It was a race, but we got it done. Really excited we're going south.
Right, and we talked about this in previous episodes, and you know this. People that have been in San Marcos a long time know we get bounced around a lot. We're either the southernmost of an Austin district, we're the northernmost of a San Antonio district. Is there any indication that this might be something we could settle into, or do you kind of anticipate it's just going to have to be check it every couple of years and see where we land?
No, I think it might be something we settle into because Johnson went up, the new Hayes School, Buddha Johnson went up, Dripping Springs went up to 6A, and they're not declining. They're going to keep rising. So I think that pushed some more 6As toward the Austin area, and I really believe we'll stay this way for a while.
Right, and that's excellent, especially we talked before on this show about rivalries, something that's been a little bit difficult for San Marcos to dig their heels into because of the movement that we do. Natural rivalries locally, of course, include Hayes. We've had it on and off again with Seguin. It looks like in this new district, New Braunfels could kind of emerge as that rivalry game. We really want to get up against New Braunfels each week because we know that's somebody we should see for the long time.
Yeah, and I think it should be. Anytime they're your neighbors, Hayes and New Braunfels should be a rival in every sport. You just got to get them on a schedule, and UIL dictates that New Braunfels is going to be there. So hopefully we get something going with them.
Well, we'll talk realignment a lot more in future episodes, especially as we roll back into football season next year. But we want to look ahead at what's going on right now, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at our Rattler recap. So our Rattler Nation update bringing you here at Hays County Barbecue. Lots going on, and we want to talk about two sports that just wrapped up. We want to get you updated with two seasons that just came to a conclusion, two really excellent seasons. Right. And we're going to start with the girls basketball team. They finished 23-11 with a 9-5 district record, which will be good for a 4th place district finish and a playoff qualification. If you had a chance to watch the game in Dripping Springs back on the 15th, they headed to that neutral site for their bi-district matchup against Cedar Ridge. They got off to a quick start. They led early. It was close at the half. They took a third quarter lead, but Cedar Ridge just came on hot. They could not miss a bucket in the 4th. Cedar Ridge gets the 57-47 victory against the ladies, and it ends the ladies basketball season, but on a real good season, bi-district playoff matchup team. So turbulent season to say the least, but what do you think about the season as a whole for that team?
Yeah, I think they definitely exceeded their expectations. You know, when they lost Faith and they lost Presley, and everybody was kind of thinking it's going to be a rebuilding year, and to win 20-plus games, and really they were in the hunt for second place all the way to the end. And to watch that game, what got them in the end was talent for talent they could play. First quarter, I was at the ball game. First quarter, we were in complete control, and even through a quarter and a half, then we got tired. You know, we didn't have a big bench, and they had a huge bench. They were rolling about 12 girls in.
Wow.
So you could tell we got tired. In the third quarter, we came out, guns a-blazing again while we were rested, and looked like we were in control and going to take care of business. Then the fourth quarter, we just got tired. So, girls, we got a good group coming back. Really proud of how our staff handled them. And then we just got to build the bench so we don't fall in those situations again.
And so as you mentioned that, you know, you talk about, you know, we've talked so many times about you lose seniors, you got kids coming up, building middle school programs. We're going to talk about the wrestling team here in a little bit, an example of an ongoing successful program. We're going to talk softball in a minute, long-time successful program. What is the secret? What does a coach have to do to ride those ebbs and flows that inevitably come, that you can't, the things you can't control, to still crank out consistent winning sports in whatever sport you're playing?
It's a good question, and I think one of the most things I've been proud of, and not just going to use my football seasons as an example, is, you know, we didn't, in my career, we just didn't win big and then disappear. You know, the hardest thing to do is sustain success. You know, you can win big, and then you see a lot of teams, but you never hear about it again. And I think the way you sustain success is you're always building. If you ever get out of building mode, then you're going to disappear. You know, because you're going to have new girls coming. Your program systems will stay the same, but you have to stay in building mode. And you got to look for ways to make yourself better and look for new ways to train. And if you do that, you got a chance to sustain success.
All right, well, another season that just wrapped up, and that would be the wrestling season, and they end their season at the state championship. What an incredible accomplishment for that program. This marks the program's 6th consecutive visit to the state championship tournament with at least one of their athletes. And so, Coach, before we talk about any of it, let's just stop right there for a moment. You've been a part of some incredibly winning programs in your career, like you said. Talk to us about 6 straight visits in any sport to a state championship.
Yeah, that's what sustaining is tough, you know, and I think the people in charge of the program got to know what they're doing. Garvin, from his Iowa background, obviously knows what he's doing, so they got a great leader. And then, you know, and you got to have the mentality. Each sport's different on what kind of mentality you got to have. In wrestling, you better have a nasty, go-get-it mentality. And man, they do. It's a new sport for me. I've never been involved in the wrestling in the school system until I got here. And
well, we're setting the bar high for you, Coach.
Exactly. So when I went to the state tournament, I went to the district tournament last year and was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then by the time I got to regional and state, man, I fell in love with it. And to watch our kiddos get after it, and our girls team this year, there was no doubt after last year's state tournament that Kaylin, Anissa, and Jessica would be back. And if Jessica didn't have, she had an arm injury. If she didn't have an arm injury, she'd have made a little more noise. So they'll all 3 be back, and they'll be back there a 7th time, I promise you.
Absolutely. It's so exciting to know. Jessica Bonda, Kaylin Martin, and Anissa Marino all make it to the state championship. Kaylin Martin comes away with 6th place finish overall in her weight class. And again, the exciting thing, all coming back for another season of Rattler Wrestling. And so you mentioned, I was going to ask you about this, you mentioned that state championship experience. That was same thing when I went to my first one a couple of years ago. I'd had the opportunity as an assistant principal at the school, as a teacher, to visit a variety of sports programs. I had not seen anything like that state tournament. Tell the folks a little bit more about just that environment and what's going on, the mats everywhere, the gym, everything.
Well, it's a big environment. Like you said, it's everywhere. There's mats, several weight classes, several divisions. The arena is, I'm not sure what the arena is called, but it's a beautiful place. They do it at in Houston. Berry Center, maybe it's
I think
called.
so.
Yeah, so, but just the talent and just the intensity of every match, whether it's boys or girls, you know. I've always said the meanest girls on campus were soccer players when you go watch them, but not no more. Those wrestling chicks, they're mean.
They'll get you.
Yeah.
And they did a great job this year. Like you said, no reason why those guys are not returning for a potential 7th straight state championship appearance by the wrestling team. So congratulations to the Lady Rattlers basketball team, to the boys and girls wrestling teams for a couple of really great seasons. And with that, we're going to take a break. But when we return from commercial, we'll be joined live by San Marcos High School head coach Kathy Stodden, head coach of the softball team. We're live here at Hayes County Barbecue. We'll be back after this message. You're watching Rattler Up. We're back with Rattler Up with Coach Walsh. We're live at the Big Texas Event Center here at Hays County Barbecue. Terrific crowd in Hays County Barbecue. Give them another chance. Make some noise, Hays County. All right. Texas monthly award-winning barbecue here at Hays County Barbecue. Coach, we love doing Rattler Up. We're doing a little less frequently in the off-season here, but I was excited to get back and smell this barbecue. Isn't this not wonderful?
No question.
You cannot get enough Hays County barbecue. Well, join us here tonight in Hays County is San Marcos High School head softball coach Kathy Stodden, and she is joined by some of her players, which we will introduce in a moment. But Coach, thanks for joining us on Rattler Up.
Well, thank you for having us.
All right, well, help our viewers and Rattler Nation. We always do this with every coach, get to know you a little bit. You know, they know you as the coach, but we want you to be able to share with us your story. Now, you are a born and raised Rattler, graduated from San Marcos High School, part of some incredible athletic teams in your own high school career here as a Rattler. But let everyone know about your original time and your journey that got you here to the head softball coach with us at San Marcos High School.
Well, I grew up in San Marcos, and my family goes back to San Marcos. Both of my grandparents, my grandfathers, are 1926 and 1932 graduates of San Marcos High School. So I've always been in this community. I grew up here. I played basketball, volleyball, and softball for the Rattlers and was in the marching band. I just tried to be busy with everything. And I played college softball at Texas Lutheran University, and I was also in the band at Texas Lutheran. A lot of music background. And when I was finished with Texas Lutheran, I actually really wanted to come home, but obviously the job wasn't open at the time, so I went and was at McNeil High School for 3 years in Round Rock as the head coach, which was an interesting experience being a head coach at 22 years old. And this job opened up 3 years later, and so this is my 21st year here at my home.
Awesome. Well, we're super glad to have you. It's so cool. What is that like for you to be able to relate to your players being a Rattler graduate?
It's incredible. One of the coolest things is I actually have had the opportunity to coach children of players that I've coached since I've been here for quite some time. It makes me feel old. But just knowing everybody in the community, being tied to everybody, whether it be someone I coached, someone I taught, someone my parents knew, someone I grew up with, their children, there's just so many connections, and it's always neat to just watch people grow.
Well, and I think that's something people don't recognize about some of the strains and pressures on our coaches. I can speak from experience. I have a 10-year-old, as you know, in your daughter's league, playing softball, and the coaches down at the little leagues are demanding your time as well. They want to get that Rattler coach, and it's not unheard of. Not just softball. They want to get the Rattler coaches down there to talk to their little ones. So talk to us about the importance of being able to just build that interest from a little age up.
Well, as I've told the girls before, I know we hosted a clinic last year. With COVID, we were actually able to still put on a clinic, and we had a bunch of little girls come out, and the girls work with them, and I tell the girls how the little ones idolize them. When you're young and you see a varsity athlete or a JV athlete at the high school, they're your hero. So we've done some things. I know that some of these girls here and some of our young ladies also went out and helped out with San Marcos Youth softball tryouts as well. And I know that the board and the girls and the parents were very thankful that they were there. So they just do a great job of being in the community with the little ones.
Yeah, and I can speak to that. My daughter was at tryouts. Obviously, the goal of tryouts is to get the coaches on the field to notice you. But when we got done with tryouts, the very first question that my daughter asked was, do you think the Rattler girls thought I did good? That was what she was concerned about. She really didn't give a crap about what the coaches thought. As long as the Rattler girls thought she did well, that was what she wanted. Well, Coach, Austin American Statesman recently ranked the top 10 girls basketball teams in state history, and the San Marcos team of 1992, of which you were a part, was ranked 5th all time. Putting you on the spot, I know, but how incredible did that feel?
That was pretty awesome. A friend of mine told my dad, and my dad sent me the article, and that's something that, coming back as a coach, that I really want these girls to be able to experience. In 2014, as you know, we got literally about 3 inches from getting to the state tournament with our softball squad, and it was like we had it there, and it was taken away from us within 10 seconds. And I want these girls to be able to experience what I got to as an athlete. When we won that state championship in '92, I know at the end of the regional finals, when the buzzer went off, I was the one holding the ball during the stall, so I was under the big pile of everybody 3 times my size. But when I got to the state tournament, it was just walking into the Frank Irwin Center and everybody counting us out because we were playing Dulles first, and then Duncanville, that was a perennial powerhouse. And I remember we beat Dulles by 2 points, and then we beat Duncanville by 2 points. And Duncanville actually had the ball inbounded and took a shot from half court at the buzzer, and it went in and out. And so we won by 2 points. And that is one of the coolest feelings. I always tell friends of mine and people that I talk to about it, I still remember the sounds, the smells. I remember lying on the court looking up at the scoreboard at the end after we'd gotten our medals. And it's just something that I would love for some of these girls to get a chance to experience, because you can't really explain that to somebody.
Right, until they experience it, right? But you know it's out there, and we want that for the girls. We're excited to be looking ahead to a new season. So talk to us about this season. We know that you're underway with pre-district and mostly tournament matchups at this point, so lots of games played over a short amount of time. But talk to us about what you're doing to get ready for the district season and just what this season looks for you going forward.
Well, going forward this year, our goal was to stay healthy, first of all. We've already kind of had a couple of hiccups and had a few injuries, but we're hoping to have those girls back, and we always have a tough preseason. We had one of the top-ranked teams in the country in one of our scrimmages with Leander, whose pitcher's going to Oklahoma. We played Canyon, we played Johnson, we went and played Vista Ridge right now, who was one of the top 10 teams in Austin to watch. That was our opener on Tuesday. We played them 5-2, and then we went to the Bryan tournament this weekend and stood toe-to-toe with some tough competitions. Right out of the box, we got the Woodlands and lost 3-2. Then we had to turn around and play Clear Creek, and we lost 9-8. And we always go to the tournaments to build experience. We had 18 girls this weekend get some playing time.
Nice.
And so we're trying to build. You never know what's going to happen, next man up. And I think one of the things that I was talking to the girls about is it's a good opportunity for us at the tournaments to play on dirt. I think that's one thing that kind of got us a little bit this weekend with all of the weather. A lot of our scrimmages were rescheduled to our place. And so we actually had our first 2 games on Thursday on the turf. We went to a turf field, and then on Friday and Saturday we had a little bit of adjustment on the dirt, because it is different surface for our pitchers and for our defense. Okay. But overall, we did some great things. I know Bryce Limpinales hit her first home run as a Rattler this weekend, and we've got our pitchers pitched 7 games in 5 days. So we're excited. We're ready to go. We've got another tournament this weekend at Northeast, and we're hoping the weather cooperates. Right now, there's supposed to be snow flurries on Friday. So hopefully we're able to get those games in.
Play some cold softball coming up.
It'll be our last tune-up before we see Lake Travis.
Well, we've got a schedule graphic, if producer Josh will put that on the screen, just to let you take a look at, again, at the very least, if you're watching at home, pause this screen, get those dates down, places and times that you can go see the softball team play. And for those of you that kind of know softball, you can see some names on that list. Those are some tough opponents and tough places to play, knowing that that's what we're doing to get ready for this upcoming season. But we're going to turn and introduce some of the ladies that are sitting alongside you, Coach. So if you'll pass the mic. Ladies, welcome into Rattler Up. We'll have you introduce yourself. Give us your name, your grade, and what position you play on the team.
I'm Christy Castilla. I'm a oh my gosh. I'm a junior and I play center field.
Hi, my name is Analia Lombardo. I'm a senior and I play outfield.
Hi, I'm Ava Sterna and I'm a sophomore and I play the middle.
All right, we'll let you just kind of pass the mic around. Some questions I'll change up, but the first one I want to know, just from all of you, we want our viewers to know just what brought you to softball? You know, all the sports available to you, why softball? And I'd love to hear all 3 of your answers on that.
Well, mine is my sister grew up playing softball, so it was always my dream to kind of be like her. And now she's playing at the collegiate level, and so that's really what I really want to do.
Same with me. My sister, my brother played baseball, my sister played softball, so it's not much of a choice in my family. Everybody, you just get pushed into the sport whether you like it or not.
Yeah, same thing what she said. All my family plays baseball, softball, so yeah, I got pushed to it.
So we'll send this one to you here. Then tell us about that tournament play. Like Coach Stodden alluded to, lots of games and lots of time. Talk to us about this preseason time and what you guys focus on to get yourselves ready for district.
Well, like to start off, we're playing hard teams, and so it's more of like we're finding who fits where, who does best where, and basically more of like who does their job and kind of seeing where everyone is better.
Okay. And so for you, I'll just ask kind of a similar question. When you're at those tournaments, for you personally, what is something that you personally try to work on and try to focus on for yourself when you're in these tournament and pre-district games?
Oh, well, Coach Stodden always says you fix things outside of the game. Like, you have games, right? You have muscle memory, and she's like, you always fix things in practice. Well, I know this isn't exactly practice, but this is considered practice games. So these are kind of like, it gives us the chance to get out those hiccups that we have, you know, work on those mechanics, like if you're not really getting your hands to the ball, you know what I mean? Like, gets you to fix those little mistakes that you're just trying to create that muscle memory, and it gives you extra practice and lets you see extra pitches and different speeds.
Awesome. And so similarly, in pre-district, what are you working on for yourself to try to get better for district?
Just working on trying to get my my starting position back and just trying to get back into things slowly from my past injury, and that's about it.
Okay. And so, again, we'll pass it around one more time. What are you most excited about for this season?
Well, like, I know a lot of friends that play on different teams in this district, so I'm kind of, like, ready to face them again and show them that San Marcos is kind of like the lower, like, they think that we're not good enough, and it's good to show that, like, we are and we're good competition against them.
So as you pass the mic, go ahead, yeah. Well, so do you feel that way? We've talked on this show a lot about sometimes San Marcos tends to get counted out, and it feels real good to show people that we are just as good as everybody, as we think we are, right? Do you ever feel that, or how do you handle that?
Oh, for sure. I have friends, like I said, I think most of us play on select teams, and we play with girls that are in our district, and they always, they talk smack. They're like, oh my God, yeah, like San Marcos, easy. Whether it's they're taking it seriously or they're taking it as a joke. But I think all of us, we take it personally because we like to win. We don't like to lose.
It's nice having that chip on your shoulder sometimes, right?
Yeah.
We'll show them what we can do. Well, tell us a little bit more about outside of softball, and I'll let all three of you answer this one. What are some things you do other than softball at San Marcos High School?
Outside of softball, well, like, I know I'm in, like, the cosmetology program in softball, and that's something I really would want to do. And, like, I basically know what I want to do, like, as my career path. I want to go to college and graduate in business and do my own business in the cosmetology industry. So that's what I would like to do.
Awesome.
As for me, I do FFA. I'm the president of the FFA chapter. I show lambs, I show goats, I'm an NHS. I also do Key Club, and as for college-wise, I plan on going to Texas A&M University, and I'm currently in the veterinary program at San Marcos High School. So I go to a vet clinic for the first and second period for every day, and Coach Walsh has seen me.
She never has a parking spot when she gets back, so I have to help her.
He always lets me in.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah, so.
I'm taking a class for coaching because that's what I want to do. And that's about it. It's my one period, but next year I'll be taking it for 2.
Well, I think you're the youngest of the three up here, right? So you've got some more time to think on some things. So you're in a good place. You're right where we want to be. Well, before we let you go, we always like to give our athletes the opportunity to send some shout-outs to whoever you want to thank for helping you get to this point. So pass the mic around. The camera's live. Who do you want to give some shout-outs to?
Mostly my parents, and then obviously all the girls on the team.
Same with me, my parents. I wouldn't be able to do this without them, and they're like the finance department in this too.
My family, and then all of them over there.
All right, all of them over there, the softball team here. Coach, you get some shout-out time too. Give you the live mic here. Go ahead.
To my husband for having to run my children around everywhere when I'm doing this job. My daughter's actually at softball practice tonight, so he picks up a lot of the slack, as do my parents, because we've got my kids in so many things. They're in music lessons, they're in sports. My daughter actually just won the district spelling bee, her elementary school spelling bee, and finished 3rd at the district level.
Awesome.
And so Craig takes them everywhere. My parents take them everywhere. My dad had them actually at Canyon Lake today just to kind of get them out of the house and off the electronics, which is always a battle with little ones. But that's definitely, and for these girls, for being here every day, the parents, the supportive parents that we have, all these girls up here. It's actually Analia and CJ's sisters also both played for me that they were talking about. So again, it's one of those things. It's neat to see that cycle. But I just love San Marcos and being part of everybody here and being part of the community.
Well, and Coach, we've talked about it on this show so many times. We know the sacrifices and the hours and the time away from family that the coaches across all our Rattler Nation make. But these girls make it worth it, right? With their hard work and their effort. Is that right?
Absolutely, even when they're picking on me.
well, they have to do that. That's also their job. All right, well, softball has a lot to look forward to with the season still in front of them. We'll check in on them again in a future episode, especially as we get close to district time. We want to see how they do. And so we want to thank them for being on. So softball team, thanks for being on Rattler Up.
Thank you for having us.
Hayes County, give it up for the San Marcos High School softball team. All right. Well, each game this season is important, but we have one team that their entire season is on the line with every game moving forward, and that is the Rattler boys basketball team, and we will bring them on next. So softball team, we'll have you go ahead and slide on out, and let's take a look then. Playoffs coming up for the San Marcos High School boys basketball team. We know that they have a lot on the line as they begin the by-district round of playoffs. Looking back, They finished the regular season 27-9 and 10-4 in district. That puts them in third place overall in an incredibly stacked district. This will now begin their playoff drive tomorrow night at Austin High School, 7 p.m. tip-off as the Rattlers take on the Westwood Warriors. Now, the Warriors are 29-5 and 11-3 in district, and that was good for a second-place finish in their district. So this should be an incredibly even match game. Coach, we're going to meet with one of the players on the team in just a moment, but first, as the athletic director, what are your thoughts on the boys' basketball season so far?
Yes, really excited. I mean, we knew they were going to be talented. Coach Miller's come in and built a culture that I think the kids recognize real quick, that this guy knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about, and this is a winning culture. We better listen. And I think it was like that over a locker room, I think, pretty quick. And he says it all the time, championship standards. And I think not only are the basketball, I think as a district we're listening, So, and when you watch them play, I got a really cool email I got to share. They played with Westlake last week, right? They played last week. I got an email from a Westlake mom. They won. We hung tougher in the first half and pulled away, one of the best teams in the state. But she took a picture of their bench. This is a Westlake mom. Took a picture of their bench, took a picture of our bench, and just said a lot of good things about how we orchestrate as a team throughout the game, winning or losing.
Awesome.
And kind of took some shots at their own squad. So it was a good, for an AD, for a head coach, Dan Miller, and just for players, it's a good testament how we're doing things and doing things right.
Well, if you didn't have an opportunity to get out to the Snake Pit during boys basketball season, you missed out. I mean, the environment that Coach Miller has set up, not just obviously his focus is on the court winning the games, but it's so important to him that the Snake Pit is filled, that they're yelling, that we're trying to get chicken at 65 points, right?
He's got you announcing now?
He's got me growling names like a fool at the beginning of the game, but he's really trying to set up a really creative environment for the team. And so we'll ask our player about that, but as an athletic director, what have you thought about just that environment at the Snake Pit for boys basketball?
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. The crowd will always feed off the team, and so when that team, you can see that team from the head coach to the players to the managers, all just rallying for each other. All you can do is rally for them. So it's a fun environment.
Well, we're going to talk to one of our players. In fact, that player is our Rattler of the Week. So let's visit with him right now. Our Rattler of the Week. Give it up, Hayes County, to Abel Trevino, this week's Rattler of the Week.
Thank you.
All right. Abel with 4 3-pointers against Lake Travis last week, battled hard against Westlake on Friday. You have had a terrific season so far. And so what have you thought about how things have gone for you so far this season?
It's exciting, man. Honestly, it's a blessing. I say it all the time on Twitter, to my coaches. It's great. I'm grateful to be here. Pre-game, like I said, Coach Miller has done such an amazing job with turning this program around, leading us to be great. Like you said, champion standards. Like I said, he wants the best for us, and that's all you can ask for as a player. Well,
I have been blessed to have that courtside seat to, like you mentioned, calling your names at the beginning of the game. It means a lot to me to be able to do that, and it's been really great to sit at the scorer's table and watch. There's no better seat in the house, and exactly what that Westlake mom talked about is what I see. I almost lose track of what I'm trying to do at the table because I just enjoy watching you guys. Whether you're down, it's easy to be happy when you're up, but I'm saying even when you're down, when you're fighting, when you're clawing, you pick each other up, the energy never leaves. How does something like that come about? How do you have 12 players, 13 players, or just no matter what the situation, we're always there, we've always got each other's back?
Right. I definitely say it's about being locked in, and it starts with Coach Miller. Like I said, pre-game, he's real big on us just relaxing, getting our mind right, and, we're really good as a team to come together. And, we just try to lock in and execute on our assignment, you know what I mean? Just pay attention to what we have in front of us, not, block out all the noise, block out what we have next, and just execute, like I said.
And I think the biggest, just to kind of champion that, is when I listen to the players talk and the coaches talk, they're all talking the same message, and it's whether they won or they lost, they're always looking for the lessons, and they say, the kids say it and the coaches say it. So when you're always looking for those lessons, you're going to get better, and it's inevitable.
Well, and that's one thing. I don't know if Coach has done this on purpose and talked to you about it, or if this is something that you can tell us about this. One thing I notice is you guys do a great job of having really bad short-term memory. Right. And if you take a shot and you miss it, you're not afraid to take a shot next time you get the ball. Right. The mistake you made in the last possession doesn't matter. You move on. Is that something that Coach Miller has spoken to you about? How does something like that develop? Because it seems like you guys are ready to go every next time down the court, no matter what.
Of course. Just believing in ourselves, and like I said, that's the beauty of the game. You know what I mean? You have a lot of possessions. We're up and down a lot. Coach Miller, like I said, he does his best job to just get us locked in the moment and forget about the misses. You know what I mean? Like I said, next play mentality, get back, be confident in making the next shot, and it's
And for us to move forward, I'm gonna make this clear, is why he's here, is he's a shooter, and he's gonna miss some shots, but we need him taking those shots.
Very true.
They go in more often than they don't. That's for sure. I've seen it. Well, Coach and I have talked a lot about building programs, and you're going to lose players, you're going to get new players in, but you are blessed to be a part of that incredible junior class on this team, including Jaden Brown, Mateus Perkins, Caden Gums, Isaiah De Leon, Xavion Harris, Malik Presley, yourself. So talk to me about having that large a group of guys. You've been playing ball together, some of you for as long as you can remember. We could probably have embarrassing old Little League photos of you guys, right? What is it like having that little core that is now at the big time? You're on top and you're driving this program.
It's fun, you know what I mean? It feels like just yesterday we were in middle school talking about it, you know what I mean? Kaden and Malik out here dunking and making, Rattler Nation go crazy. But it's all about the chemistry, I would say. It flows, you know what I mean? It's real fun in practice, in games, just, everybody looking at each other like, come on, I believe in you. And like I said, you can't ask for a better, band of brothers.
All right. Well, outside of basketball, what are some other things that you're involved with, and what are some things you want to do after high school?
Man, I love fishing. You know what I mean? I put it like that.
All right.
I'm real big on the outdoors with my older brother. You know what I mean? I tag along. That's my everything. And I mean, that's what I do outside of basketball. And what I plan to do on going forward from college is just, whatever opportunity I get blessed with, that's where I'm going. You know what I mean? Just the highest level. That's all I could ask for.
Awesome. Well, let's talk tomorrow night. So we know that tomorrow night it's huge. I thought it was kind of interesting the way the scheduling just kind of works out. We have a school holiday today, so we're not in school. You don't have to worry about that. You still had practice today, obviously. How did practice go today, and what are we looking like getting ready for tomorrow?
Practice was good. Just sharpening the edges. You know what I'm saying? We just going over our game plan and executing, like I said, going over our defense and putting in our plays, but it's going to take everybody, you know what I mean? Our synergy has to be there. We have to come out ready to go, and we can't afford to be punched in the mouth first, and I feel like we just got to make a statement.
He said a good point. I walked in for a brief moment, probably 10 minutes, and he said it takes everybody. And when I walked in, they were doing situations, inbounds plays, I think.
Yes, sir.
Their inbounds plays, and Coach Cuevas had an input. Coach Flores had an input. Coach Miller. So it is all of them.
Yeah, talk to us about that coaching staff. I know Coach Miller leads the way, but talk to us about those assistant coaches and the impact they're having on this team.
Man, I love our coaching staff. You know what I mean? Coach Cuevas, I'll start with him. He's a very soft-spoken guy, like I said, but when you get to know him, he's down to earth. And he's a man who moves by morals and principles, and you have nothing but respect for him. Coach Jimmy, that guy's just all in. Like I said, he's our hype man. He brings the energy, and like I said, he wants the best for us. You know what I mean? Coach DeMarcus, I love Coach DeMarcus. He's definitely there for the guys. You know what I mean? He brings a lot of fun to the team. We can go to him for everything.
So he played for Coach Miller, so he's got good insight.
Excellent.
He can be the bridge for these guys.
Very true.
If Coach Miller's having a bad day, they can ask what's going on. If it's a good day, how do we do this?
Right.
True. And Coach Miller, of course, I said, the core of it all on Twitter. His resume and his record speaks for itself. But when you're face to face with him, and you know what I'm saying, you're in his aura. He wants the best for you as well, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure you get there.
Awesome. Well, one thing that I think people love hearing about is that behind-the-scenes stuff. So peel the curtain back a little bit. Tomorrow, playoff game, tip-off time, 7 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
What's tomorrow look like for you personally? So, just take us through, generally, your day getting ready for a big playoff game.
Locking in, really. Like I said, it starts from when I wake up. You know what I mean? Me and Caden always talk about it. We have to be locked in the whole day if we want to execute later on, you know what I mean? And that's coming with putting up shots before a game. That's on the bus ride. That's at the school. It's like I said, it's going to take a lot. This is our first time being in the playoffs with this group, and, we want to make the most of it.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow night for sure. Abel Trevino, thanks for joining us on Rattler Up.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, Hayes, can I give it up for our Rattler of the Week, Mr. Abel Trevino? All right, well, that is going to do it for this week's Rattler Up Hayes County Barbecue. Did everybody have a good time here tonight? Even as you make the noise. All right. Well, thanks again to Hays County Barbecue for being such a great host and giving us this opportunity on Monday nights to talk Rattlers athletics and be the host for Rattler Nation. Now, before we go, we want to remind people again of the opportunities they have to catch the Rattlers in the upcoming week. And, of course, we start the big time. It is Tuesday night. Boys basketball bi-district playoff game. It's at Austin High School against Westwood. Tip-off time at 7 p.m. I put it into Google Maps, Coach. It's a 40-minute drive. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. Get there. Coach Walsh, as we've said before, will write notes to your bosses to excuse you, to ask you to leave a little early. Those will be handwritten. Coach Walsh will get you out of your work early to get to Austin High School and check out the boys' bi-district matchup tomorrow night, 7 p.m. This weekend, it is the Rattler Baseball Tournament, so plenty of great chances to watch baseball at the Rattler Baseball Field. You can come out and see Coach Webb's boys Thursday at 4:30 and 7, Friday at 2 and 7, and then Saturday morning at 11:30. No reason not to catch some Rattler baseball. And then I think, like I said, from this week on, if you don't know what the schedule is and you can't find it, if it's Tuesday or it's Friday, come to San Marcos High School. We're going to have something for you. Does that sound about right?
Just show up and find the traffic.
Exactly. All right, well, we talked at the start of the show how busy this time of the year is, Coach, but there's really nothing like this. Do you just love this time of year?
Oh, I do. It keeps, we do this for the people part of it, and when we get busy like this, we're around a lot of people and get to meet a lot of folks in San Marcos. So, yeah, I love it. Hopefully when we come back, we're still talking about these guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can't wait to have that happen again. We'll have another Rattler Up to get you caught up. But that'll do it for tonight. We want to thank VYPE and our producer, Josh, for putting together a great platform for us to showcase Rattler Nation. Remember, you can catch all the Rattler Up episodes. If you missed them, if you didn't get to catch them live, go to the YouTube channel for VYPE. That's VYPE. Look up Rattler Up, and you can check out all the Rattler Up editions. Thanks to our live crowd here at Hays County Barbecue. Make it fun to talk sports and be a part of the Rattler Nation. So for Coach Walsh, I'm CJ Odom, and this has been Rattler Up.